Never in my life did I think I'd be okay with my imperfect body. My imperfect skin, blackheads, dark spots, hyperpigmentation, stretch marks, loose skin, cellulite, softness, my coffee-stained teeth. I could list more imperfections, but honestly, I don't really think about my body that much anymore. I mean, I see my body when I'm getting dressed and undressed. I see my body in the mirror when I'm getting ready. I see it in photos and videos that I take for fun and for work. Sometimes I even catch a surprise glimpse of my body when my iCloud decides to show me a photo memory from 4 years ago. I actually like to look through old photo books of my honeymoon and my wedding where I'm thinner, younger, blonder, and more toned. And it's all good. That was me then. This is me now. It doesn't bother me like it used to because it literally does not matter. I don't idolize that version of me anymore. The younger one, the one with less body fat. I truly don't care. And by that, I don't mean that I don't care about my body now. I mean, I don't care about my body then because that's the past. This is the present. And I'm too focused on trying to be the best version of myself now while building the future that I want to keep looking backwards. And again, it does not matter. Perfecting my body doesn't help me become a better person, a better coach, a better wife, a better friend. It does not impact me. I do not care to stand in front of the mirror and gaze at myself, hoping that I'll like the way that I look. It doesn't feel like a need like it once did. And that's because when you find yourself obsessing over a version of yourself in the past, there's something that's missing in the present. To be well, mentally, emotionally, physically, you need to be more invested in your future self than in your past self because your past self is gone and she's not coming back. You can't go backwards in time. You are a different person now with different needs. So trying to get back to a thinner, happier, clearer skinned version of yourself will only keep you stuck. If you want to feel good in your body again, you have to stop fantasizing about the past and start focusing on what actually matters now. Hi, welcome back to Wake Up with Natalie Rose, the channel that helps you think less about food in your body and more about truly living. I wholeheartedly believe that you do not exist to look perfect. And I know you believe that too. But then why is it so hard not to look in the mirror and immediately think, I could look better? First of all, what does better mean? If we actually pause to unpack that word, that judgment, it's coming from deeply unfair, unrealistic body trends that have brainwashed us into thinking that we're not good enough as we are. But beauty is not a body trend. It's not defined by what's in this decade or what some celebrity looks like. And trends, they always change. Soon enough, someone will rise to fame who has a soft belly and a normal looking body. And sure enough, that will become the norm for what's beautiful again. Do you see how people are going crazy over Amy Lee Wood from the White Lotus's teeth? I saw an article saying White Lotus stars' teeth aren't just charming, they're inspiring. Can you imagine an actress who just doesn't choose to perfect her natural teeth by getting these perfect veneers? That's a revelation to us. But hey, can't get mad at that because being yourself is back, baby. And hopefully she's starting a new trend of being yourself, embracing your own characteristics that make you you. We can only hope. So let me de-influence you for a second, because all of this, the pressure to look better, the mirror checking, the body obsessing, it's just a distraction from your deeper purpose, peace, fulfillment, connection. And now you might believe that toning up can get you those things, that maybe you'll get the attention, the validation, the confidence, the intimacy that you've been missing. But let me ask you this, haven't you tried that before? Did it work? And I don't mean temporarily, because we know it gives you a temporary confidence boost, but long term, did it actually deepen your self-worth? Did it strengthen your relationships? Did it bring you lasting peace or fulfillment? If you did, I don't think you'd still be searching for it by trying to perfect your body. Before I get into what it actually looks like to be okay with your body, I want to speak to some of the mistakes that I made along the way. First of all, I thought that I had to love every inch of my body all the time. I'd stand in front of the mirror waiting for the day that I finally started to like how I looked, to be okay with how my body had changed. And when that day just wasn't coming, I felt like a failure. Because the real problem was that I was still objectifying my body. I was still expecting my body to make me happy instead of focusing on making myself happy and including my body as part of who I am. Your definition of body confidence might be outdated. You might think it means flawless skin, visible abs, whatever you've been chasing all these years. But body confidence isn't about liking your body all the time. It's about trusting yourself. It's about respecting your body because it's part of you and you respect yourself. It's not about wishing away the 5 to 20 pounds or however much you gained since you decided to stop engaging in an overly restrictive, deprived lifestyle. It's not about wishing away the weight you gained when you've been eating more freely, living more freely, eating more intuitively, saying yes to life, thinking less about food, because deep down, you know that those few pounds don't actually stand in the way of your life. They're just symbolic. If you're stuck here thinking, yes, I like how my life is more free, or I like how my relationship with food has improved, but I also want to feel good about my body and I just don't like the way it looks. The issue probably isn't your body, it's perfectionism. If those few pounds feel like they matter so much, it's likely because your self-worth is still tied up in your appearance. And that's even more reason to press pause on any aesthetic body goals right now and focus instead on deepening your relationship with yourself, on balance, connection, meaning, noticing those judgments like, I wish my body could look better, or I'm just not myself anymore. Where did those definitions come from? What makes your body better if the body you're living in now allows you to enjoy your life more? Hyper-focusing on minor body details is often a distraction from bigger, scarier questions. Are you living a life that excites you? Do you feel fulfilled in your work, your relationships, your creative pursuits? Are you being true to yourself? You might want to ask, what's missing? Playfulness, autonomy, freedom, intimacy, safety. This is where true self-worth comes in. By meeting your deeper needs and building a life that feels true, empowering, and expansive. It took me a long time to find peace with my body because I hadn't figured that out yet. I was living according to a checklist, doing what I thought I should do without listening to what I actually wanted. And that level of thinness that I did achieve once felt like a prize because I'd fantasized about it my whole life. I was taught that being skinny meant being better. And letting go of that fantasy was really, really hard. And it took a long time, even though I still live in a smaller body. But once I realized that there's so much more to life than fitting into a size 0 or having abs, the idea of going back to restrictive habits felt pointless. It felt excruciating. Like, I don't want to do that. I never will want to do that again. I have no desire to track my calories, to spend hours at the gym longer than I'm comfortable with, or to cancel social plans just to protect a rigid meal plan, to chase body goals that don't really align with where I am or where I want to be. Your healthy weight is the weight that your body settles at when you're living a life that you love. And don't get me wrong, my life is not perfect. There are so many things that I'm working on in my life, but the difference is that I've realized that those are the things that need my attention, not me losing another 5 to 15 pounds so that I can look how I did 5 or 10 years ago. You want a life that includes balanced meals, joyful movement, and care for your well-being. But if you're living that life and still feeling dissatisfied with your appearance, then that's a body image issue, not an issue with your body. So ask yourself, what is the cost of chasing perfection? How much time, energy, and emotional space are you willing to give up again to try to fix your body or get back that body that you had a few years ago? How many memories, how many chances for connection are you willing to trade for the illusion of the dream body? And you might tell yourself, it'll be different this time. I'll do it in a healthy way. And maybe that's true. I'm not saying that you can never pursue aesthetic goals. I think that it's totally possible to work on toning your body or building muscle or achieving a certain look without it being your whole identity or being attached to your self-worth. But just be careful, because this is often a trap. If you move towards body goals too soon in your food freedom journey or your journey to healing your relationship with food and with your body, then it could put you right back into that place, that cycle of perfectionism, where no matter how thin you get, how toned you get, it never feels good enough, because there are deeper needs at play that your body goals are distracting you from. And I've seen it time and time again. It starts with innocent calorie counting, and then the body checking increases, the food obsession comes back, and dissatisfaction follows. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm right back to where I started. So what if instead you poured all your energy into your actual life? Go on more hikes if you like hikes. Cook some new meals that you might end up loving. Try Pilates or dance or rock climbing or painting or poetry or whatever could spark your interest. And if your body changes, it changes. I mean, our body is going to change anyways. Bodies change in different seasons of life. Sometimes life gets more stressful. We end up losing a little bit of extra weight that maybe our body wasn't needing. Or summer comes around and you're more active and you're still eating and nourishing your body and living the life that you want to live, but your body naturally changes with the seasons, right? But the goal is not your body. It's you and your well-being. Because we know that the old trap of when I get my dream body, then I'll be happy never truly works. We know that. And just like I mentioned in last week's episode, letting go of the pursuit of the perfect body isn't giving up or letting yourself go. It's a powerful decision to move forward. It's choosing presence over perfection. It's realizing that softness isn't weakness, it's strength. That peace isn't passive. It's an active, bold reclaiming of your time, your worth, your energy. Yes, there might be grief. There can be a lot of grief, but grief is part of the healing process. Grieving the old body that you had idolized for so many years, that you had spent so much time and energy into achieving and maintaining. Grief is normal. You are not failing by letting go. You're finally making space for something more honest, more whole, more you. And that is a life that reflects your true values. Let me give you an example of how perfectionism ties into this. One of my community members in my group coaching membership told me recently that she's been having these thoughts of wanting to get more toned. And when I encouraged her to use the mindfulness skills that she's been practicing, I asked her, what comes up when you think of pursuing that goal? What kind of thoughts and feelings come up? And she told me, I have thoughts of being more toned and then getting praised for it or getting more attention. And I said, okay. So it sounds like pursuing a goal of getting more toned in your mind would get you more attention. And that's the underlying need that it would fulfill. And she said, yeah, is that weird? Like that I want more attention? And I said, absolutely not. That is a normal human need. But when we explored that goal a little bit further, she said she didn't feel ready. She didn't feel like she was in a place to healthfully achieve that goal. She knew that it would just become another obsession of needing to do her toning exercises every single day, not being able to take a break, fearing that she would then lose whatever she was getting from it. And so we explored what are some other ways that you can go about meeting that underlying need of acknowledgement and attention. I asked her, do you ever give yourself acknowledgement for your achievements, things that you do on a daily basis? Do you ever feel proud? And she said, no, I'm often telling myself that, it was just luck, or if she passed an exam, it was just easy, or if she did well at work, anyone could have done that. And so I said, okay, let's start there. Can you start acknowledging, giving yourself acknowledgement and praise for your own achievements and stop discounting them? That's your perfectionism talking. And then I said, if you want to go a step further, start sharing your achievements and accomplishments with other people. Start letting them know what's going on, what you took part in and felt success in, so that they can give you the acknowledgement that you're needing. Because if we're never proud proud of our own accomplishments and we never share them with others, then we're never going to get the attention and acknowledgement that we so deserve, right? And so I'm not saying that you can never want to get more toned, but if you are still at a vulnerable place in your relationship with your body image, meaning you're still having a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of negative judgments, you're not feeling good or safe in your body, then returning right back to aesthetic goals will just lead you back to that place of obsession. The best thing that you can do is start trying to meet those underlying needs in other ways. And once you feel more confident and more competent in that sense, I promise you that one of two things will happen. One, perfecting your body will become less important because you're getting your needs met elsewhere. Or two, you set a goal to build muscle or get more toned or whatever, and it's not something that takes up all of your energy and your time and your mental space, and it doesn't become obsessive because you are getting your needs met elsewhere. Your worth doesn't depend on achieving those body goals. Does that make sense? When I stopped trying to fix my body, my life opened up. I started saying yes to more things. I reconnected with people. I had the energy to dedicate to my passions and my projects. I was able to rest. I was able to be present. I was able to create. I learned that I could spend hours in front of the computer and even go days and days without going to the gym, and not a whole lot would change anyways. But more importantly, I found a way to connect with people in a deeper way. And what I just needed to realize was I just needed to sit through the discomfort of not feeling good about how my body looked just a bit longer, long enough for it to eventually fade. And this isn't talked about enough. But like I said, if you jump back too quickly into fixing your body, you'll never get to see what it feels like on the other side of it, what it feels like to truly accept your body, to not be disgusted by your own flaws, to embrace them, to actually like yourself more than you care about liking your body. And that takes time. I had to sit through that discomfort for years until I got there, and I finally did. And it is so freeing. It is so liberating, which is why I'm sharing this with you, that it is possible. Now, if you're listening and you're not there yet, if you're still checking the mirror 10 times a day, still nitpicking every photo, please know you are not broken. You are not shallow or vain for wanting to like your body more. You're just caught in something that so many of us are never taught how to get out of. But there is a way out, and it starts small. Begin by noticing those harsh thoughts that come up, like, ugh, or I look so bad, or that's disgusting, or I wish I looked better. And ask yourself, where did these judgments come from? Are they fair? Can I replace them with something just a little bit more neutral? What am I actually needing right now? What would making my body better get me? You can start by softening your definition of what it means to be okay with your body. For example, you don't have to love every inch of your body to feel confident. You just have to stay curious. Keep showing up for yourself. And remember, the goal was never to have the perfect body. That's a myth. The goal is to feel at home in yourself. It's normal to not be 100% in love with your body, to like everything about it. That's normal. And you can be okay with that. So before we wrap up, I want to ask you a couple questions. What version of your past body are you still idolizing? And what do you think that version of your body gave you that you might be missing now? What is one way that you can work on getting that need met without changing your body just yet? Let yourself be honest, brutally honest, even if it feels embarrassing. Let it be messy, and let it be the start of something more peaceful, authentic, and freeing. Thanks so much for listening. I'll talk to you next time.